What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Lucas Live. My name is Lucas Tyndale. I am here laughing in studio with the lovely Miss Tiffany Skillern. She is the executive director of Start Community Support Network. She's a wife, she's a mother, she is someone who cares deeply about others, her community, and so many other things. And today we're going to talk about caring for the community and doing for the community in her role. And we're going to talk about the need for things like self-care, loving ourselves, taking care of ourselves, processing our own traumas and things we've gone through, which is something I think we all need to talk about and something we all need to do. And in talking about all those things, we had some good laughs this morning because also laughter is the best medicine. And it's always good to be able to laugh. I'd like you guys to help me welcome my guest today, Miss Tiffany Skillern. How are you this morning?
I'm pretty good.
Good.
I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me.
It's my absolute pleasure. It's been so much fun talking to you as we get things set up this morning.
Yeah.
We were here talking and laughing and thinking. And then we realized one thing I learned about you this morning, and I'm not going to hold it against you.
Okay.
Now, others out there might. If you do, I understand. I am a Canton.
TIG, okay?
Oh,
TIG.
man, listen, ladies and
ERS.
gentlemen.
Where's my ERS? It's automatic. In math, when you go TIG, somebody's got your back.
I've
with
always
ERS.
asked, and I will ask this again. How many people does it take to spell the word tigers? It's got like 5, 6 letters. I mean, it's not that complicated, right? They'd be like, TIG, can somebody help me? It's like a group spelling bee. It's a special thing. Anyway, that's what I assume. You guys need help.
No, we don't
You're
need
like,
help.
I don't know. Like you study
We
the
don't
TI.
we don't even
you
have
get
to
the-
hesitate, though. We just TIG and somebody is there.
Is
That's
it
just how we do.
TIG and then it's ERS?
We already know.
Y'all already know?
Y'all don't know, but that's okay.
We don't.
Okay, you don't have to.
We're still
It's not
friends.
for
It's
you.
okay.
Okay.
I respect that. And I'm okay. I'm a Kent McKinley Bulldog. She's a Mountain Tiger. For anybody listening anywhere around the world, our high schools happen to be rivals, but we happen to be friends. I didn't even know this about her until this morning, and I'm going to not even hold it against her at all. I'm not even going to deduct any points, friendship points or anything, because usually I keep scores with my friends. But I'm not going to this time because I am fascinated by you. You and I probably some years ago talked about some things and connected and talked about dreams, goals, probably a lot of stuff we're talking about today. And you've gone on to do some new things. I'd love to start with you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Tiffany and what are you most passionate about in life?
Okay. So I'm a mom. That's what I'm most passionate about in life. I have 5 children. Okay. So
I counted
got
them
a
this
whole
morning.
tribe.
We talked about it. You started naming them, and I'm good at math. And I was like, that's 5. And I got 4, so I'm not far behind.
Okay.
Right.
A good 5.
Yes.
I'm very passionate about being a good mom.
Yeah.
But one of my greatest passions is helping people.
Yeah.
Like the underdog.
Yeah.
And I think that just comes from trauma. Comes from growing up with different aspects in your life and you just want to help people overcome.
Yeah.
So I'm a mom. I am a speech language pathologist by trade.
I think I knew that. Right. Okay. I think we talked about that at one point. Okay.
We did.
Right.
We
Yes.
did.
Yes.
I am a wife. So that's another big role that I'm trying to fulfill. And I'm a daughter. I'm a sister.
Yes.
You know, I'm just somebody that, number one, I feel like my sister always cracks on me all the time. She's like, I'm the little big sister.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm the little sister, but I act like the big sister.
Right. You're the one telling her what to do. Get it together. That's how Danny and Tiff are. Shout out to Danny and Tiff on my team. Tiff is the younger sister, but she tell all of us what to do.
Yeah.
So yes. Okay.
So I'm the little big sister. I have another sister, April. She's the oldest of us all, and they're the rah-rah. They're gonna make sure ain't nothing going down with little sis.
Okay.
Because they coming.
Right.
But I'm the one that's gonna keep it calm and keep it, together.
Right. Right. What's the
Yeah.
plan for today? What are
What's
we
the
doing?
plan?
What are we
Yeah.
doing? Y'all can rah. We got things to do. Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go.
They ain't gonna let nothing happen to little sis. Anything go down with little sis, I know I got 2 sisters that's coming for
They
me.
coming.
So,
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I'm just really passionate about making a difference in my community,
Yeah.
changing generational cycles within my family, setting an example and just doing what I can as far as, I feel like my life is not my own.
Yeah.
I've just always lived like
Yes.
that. Like God calls you here for a purpose and what you do is just not for you.
Yeah, I love that. And that certainly resonates with me. I believe that 100%. Even doing this podcast and doing shows, I think it's an outlet of creativity. Shout out to my guy, John PDMC, today on social media, today on Facebook or something. He posted something about feeling like himself, something about being creative makes him feel connected to his spirit. And I think we were all created with creativity and abilities inside of us, passions and purpose for a reason. And we have a calling, and what it is something inside of us is calling us towards something. And we feel this compulsion like, I'm supposed to be helping people, for instance, or I'm supposed to be doing music, or I'm supposed to be doing podcasts and media and creating things, whatever it is, we feel that calling for it, and we have to find outlets to fulfill our calling and purpose. For you, you said one of the first places is being a mother, and I want to ask you because I think that being a mother is probably the hardest job on Indeed. No, it's not on Indeed. They don't put it on there. They're like, we looking for some moms because some of these parents tapping out. We need somebody. We need some subs. We need some substitute moms because these moms can't take it. I think being a mother, and I'm a father, and I think being a father is a challenging job. But I have so much respect for moms. I'm a mama's boy. People know I started Lucas Live Media in honor of my mom. Talk to me about that. There's some moms out there probably who may even feel alone with this whole idea of momming it out here. What are your thoughts on the challenges of that?
See, and this is where moms always kind of watch what they say, because by no means being a mom is a negative thing regarding your children. And we think if we say something about it being challenging, our kids are going to feel like
they're going to watch this episode later and be like, you didn't like me back in 2024. I remember I watched that episode. Right.
It's nothing to do with kids. It's more so your internal drive that you have to make things so much better for them that drives you crazy. And then God gives you that natural nurturing, that natural empathy and everything. So it's almost like we carry everything internally. That's the hardest thing. It's like I'm processing my daughter's emotions. You know, I'm hurting for her. I'm hurting from, if my son does something, I see him working hard and something doesn't work out, I'm hurting for him. Just we carry everything internally. And I feel like that's the biggest challenge. And we don't take time for ourselves. When we do, we feel guilty. So I go watch the TV and I could be doing something else with my kids. Or if I try to have a girl day, I could be at home with my kids. So we push all that off. So I would say for all the moms out there, I speak from experience of trying to be everything for everyone, pushing myself to the side, pushing my traumas to the side, pushing my healing to the side so that I can show up for everyone, my job, my kids, my husband. But what I found is if you don't deal with it, it's coming back up regardless. So you either deal with it at the time, and you take time for yourself at the time, or you wait until it builds up and then it explodes. I'm at the explosion stage right now.
You said that when you pulled up today. You said, you know what? I'm coming. We're going to do this show, but it's going to be real. I appreciate that. I'm glad. I said, this is good. This is good for the show. I said, we got a real conversation. So
I almost backed out on them.
You did.
Emotionally, I don't know how much I have to give.
You don't know, but you're giving it. People need this. See, and this is a conversation we had this morning, is that people are drowning while everyone is watching. Your family is the closest to the shore. They're looking at you like, Mom, get on over here. What you doing? You looking for something for us? You're like, no, I'm drowning. I'm not looking for your swim trunks in the ocean. No, I know you lost them last week, but I'm not. I am drowning right now. That's what this looks like.
Trying to doggy paddle.
Right, I'm trying to doggy paddle. You think I'm playing. I'm struggling here. Moms get no days off. They get no time off. And even as a husband and a father, I know that my wife carries a load that I don't carry. Like I don't know how my clothes get back in the drawers. I don't know. They just appear. I'll just be like, wow. Every time I look for something, it's there. And then when it's not there, I have the grand audacity to ask her where it is. I'm like, have you seen my... She like, where's that supposed to put them? I'm like, in the laundry basket? Well, you probably should start there. Because why do I got to know where your stuff is? That's where you should look. Like, why are you looking for them to be clean? They're dirty. Remember that? They're in the laundry basket. No, but they're somewhere magically clean. She's like, they're in the washing, in the dryer, in the basket over there. And magically, she's keeping things flowing. And I have so much love and respect for that. And, certainly fathers, husbands, men, we do our part. And in every household, it's not the same. So it is not to say that every woman does the laundry and does all that. Not to say that. But for so many mothers, even if when they do have the man's help, somehow they still they're like the chief operating officer. But the husband is looked at as the CEO, but the wife is the COO. But really, if she stopped doing what she's doing, ain't nothing to see, nothing. Ain't nothing to see here. And it's a lot of weight. And you said about women and yourself even processing their own trauma. Talk about that as a mother, as a wife. Trauma, that's a nice conversation for people who are suffering and struggling with their mental health. But you're a productive member of society. you look fine, everything looks good, Tiffany. What do you mean that you too are processing trauma? What does that mean?
Right. And it's so crazy because people, depending on what your perception is of trauma, you can think, oh, I haven't gone through anything that's just so dramatic.
Right.
Your body, if it perceives a threat, that's trauma.
Wow.
So think about all the people that are living with limited resources. Their body is perceiving these limited resources as a threat.
Wow.
So it's going to react just like if somebody was trying to stab you. We're going into fight or flight. How are we going to survive this?
Yeah.
So people every day with lack of resources, lack of support are perceiving a threat. So we're in trauma. My trauma personally is sometimes lack of resources, but also the death of my father. That was really hard on me because, again, I'm the little big sister. I was also the one that people go to. I don't know. He said I had a way with words and I had a way with explaining things and I can get people to do things. So he would rely on me when he got sick about trying to find him help at the doctor.
Wow.
So I'm researching, I'm pulling from the books. I'm researching. Right. I'm writing the doctor's letters saying, hey, how about we do these tests? And I just felt like I fought, but in the end, it wasn't enough. So then you deal with feeling like you're not enough.
Wow.
So here you go. And that might have played
That's tough.
With other things, maybe when I was younger or whatever. I don't know. But that triggered back up of like, you weren't enough to help him.
Wow.
So that crushed me.
That's tough.
Okay, that crushed me.
Yeah.
So I had been dealing with that for a long time of like, what else could I have done to save him? And I don't know. It ended up being cancer, and we were driving to Cleveland to the VA. I tell that story a lot because it's important to say he's a veteran, a Bronze Star decorated veteran who fought for this country, who got sprayed in the area of Agent Orange and all that, developed cancer, but we didn't know it was cancer. So we're going to the doctor fighting, trying to find out. He also had substance use issues. So here we go. Yeah. You come back from the war, not dealing with trauma.
Yep.
You rely on substances,
to
but then
process that pain and what you saw and what you did and it's tough.
Yes.
Yep.
And then they judge you for that.
Yep.
So then they were saying he's just drug seeking, and I'm like, we live in Madison, we can get drugs.
We ain't coming up here, right?
We ain't
driving to Cleveland to get some drugs. We drug seeking. We just drove past a lot of drugs.
We done drove
to
past
get
a lot of drugs.
Right.
So by the time we found out it was Altman Hospital, and they said it was cancer, but it had already progressed. So then I lost my father, and I felt like, what could I have done differently? So in order to still live, because everybody depends on mom.
Yeah.
I have to be a wife. I have to be a mom.
Yeah.
So in order to deal with that, I had to just push it aside and not deal with it to continue life.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I wasn't taking time for myself. I didn't go to counseling for that. I just went on and pushed it. And I think a lot of people are pushing things to the side. And then I noticed that my attitude was changing. I started being very agitated with my children. I am somebody that can get along with anybody. Okay.
Right.
But I was getting irritated.
Right.
I was being very aggressive. I was being very distant. I didn't want hugs. It's just too much. Like I felt overstimulated.
Yeah.
So when I saw that I was changing like that, that's what scared me.
Yes.
So then that's when I went to counseling and started dealing with that trauma and tried to, recover. But I think I just wanted to share that because a lot of women are pushing the lack of the father being in the home, the lack of the father being present in the children's life, the lack of financial resources because, their job's not paying enough or they're not with their kids a lot because they have to work too much. All of that is trauma.
That is, wow.
That's trauma. So I just say, to recap it, just take time for yourself. Like while you're going through that, take those moments, see what it is that you need for you. Because I'm at that point in my life where now I'm looking at what do I need for me?
Yeah.
And it hurts sometimes and it feels terrible, but I'm noticing if I don't do that, like you said, I'm drowning.
Yes.
I feel like I'm drowning personally right now. So if I don't recover me,
you can't help anybody.
I can't help anybody and I can't expect somebody else to come and save me.
That's a great point. Wow.
So just save yourself by doing the things that you need along the way to cope, to heal, to feed yourself. I looked at it like a battery, like, okay, you give out this charge all the time. I'm giving out this charge. And then I'm like, where's the charge that's coming back? Like, where's the juice?
Right.
But it's all going. It's all going. And I didn't take any time to recharge myself. And now I'm depleted.
Yes.
So it's harder to come from a depleted state.
It is. Yes.
Than it is to say, I'm going to take this little time while I know my charge is down a little bit. I'm going to take this time and recharge. So I just want to make sure that people know it. You need to recharge.
I love that. It makes me think of, they say like in the winter when you're keeping your home warm, that it's not wise to say we're not home during the day, so we set the heat to 60 so that the furnace doesn't run, and when we come home we put it back on 70. They're like, well, that's a long way. The energy it takes for the furnace to recover and heat your house from 60 to 70 costs you more money than if you left it at 68 and then had to bump it up a couple of degrees. You're not there's it takes too much energy. For so many mothers and women especially, your energy is so low that you're going from 0 to 100. You're trying to fill your charge. Your cell phone is dead, and now you're trying to bring it back to life. As opposed to when it was at 50%, if you plugged it back in, it doesn't take that long to get back to 100%. It functions normally, and you don't have to worry about it. And so many women, especially I think as well, are running on E. You're running on fumes. You hear that? You see that check? You see that light come on that says you need gas? And you're like, I got a few more miles. I got a few more miles. And then your family, I think, is like, there's no exits off the highway to go get gas. It's like, what are you doing about to pull up? What are you talking about? Take that exit, take that. That's not an exit. I need something at the next stop. Then the next kid needs something at the next place. And your family needs something, and your job needs something. And so many women, again, are drowning in front of people. People are watching them drown. And they're like, Superwoman, you helped me from drowning. And they never see there's no room for people to help those that help others. And I've thought about this a lot. Like I always say to businesses, business leaders, people in general, I say, who cares for the caregivers? Who serves the servers? Who's thinking about those who are always thinking about others? And we need to start with, and I think this was your point, the first person that has to think about me is me.
It's me.
And the first person that has to think about you is you. And the idea that someone else is going to come save you is not that others can't help you, but the idea that others are going to save you is why so many people are drowning. And they're in the water with their arms crossed thinking, I saved others, somebody should come save me. And it's like, no, you saved others. You better start swimming. And on your way to shore, you might see some people out there with their arms up talking about save me. And you got to be like,
you got to keep swimming.
You got to keep swimming to shore. I can't save you until I save myself. I can't help anybody else until I help myself. And I think that's a powerful, powerful place. Somebody else is out there and they're dealing with or not dealing with trauma. How did you make the decision to go to counseling? Because I think a lot of people, especially in the Black community, there's a lot of stigma around it. There's like the can I afford it? There's the I don't have time. When am I gonna go to counseling? I'm too busy counseling everybody else. So how did you make that decision? What was that process like for you?
Okay, I'm gonna step back one step just to talk a little bit about when you said about the drowning.
Yeah.
There will be people in your life who even try to save you. Okay, they try in the way that they feel they need to try to save you. Okay, so that's another complicated aspect. There's going to be people that love you that say, I'm feeding into you, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm feeding you, but it may not be exactly what you need. That's the hardest part, is because the people around you love you, and they want to help you. But number one, if you don't know what it takes to help yourself, if you can't express that to them, this is exactly what I need. That's one thing, being able to know what you need.
Excellent point.
Okay, and express that. And number two, if they're not able to say, okay, I need to switch how I'm helping you, that's going to be a whole nother aspect. So just be careful when you're in relationships with anybody, friends, spouses. You teach them what you need. Well, this is what's going to help me. Yes, you did this, that, and the other. But this is exactly what I need at this time. And it may shift.
That's true.
And don't
Today
feel bad.
I need this, and tomorrow I might need that. And that's okay.
Yes. So I just wanted
love
to bring that up.
Great point. Great point.
But I decided to go to therapy. I made that decision because I felt like I was going to impact my kids. I'm always forward thinking. So then it's like, well, what am I creating for my children? What trauma
am I
are
passing
they going to have to deal with if I
trauma.
don't handle myself?
That's
what got me there.
Like that.
Ultimately, is like, what am I doing to my children that they're going to end up having to go talk to a counselor too?
Right. That's just pause for a second. Listen, everybody. Listen to what she just said. She said, what am I not dealing with? What am I doing that I am actually traumatizing my children out of my own trauma because I didn't deal with mine? I'm passing it on to them. And people talk a lot about generational curses and things like it's just this mystical, spiritual, cursed thing. No, it's your junk that you didn't deal with, and you dump that junk on your people. I think a lot, and please don't forget your point. I think there's a lot of Black people who we are ancestors of slaves, and our slaves were abused and mistreated. And that's how we've been raising children forever. Authoritarian, shut up and sit down. Don't make me get my belt, my whip, my switch, because I'm going to whip you into shape, because that's what we were taught, and we were traumatized. And now we're passing that trauma on generation after generation, because in a black house, you don't do nothing wrong or you're going to get your butt whooped. You ain't no talking, ain't no grounding, ain't no nothing. You getting beat. And it's like, that's just trauma that we don't, and we learn behavior. And I'm not saying I got my kids together. I'm not saying you have to get your kids together sometime, but it's like, as a father, especially my girls, the last thing I want to do is for them to learn that a man that loves them as dearly as I do would be putting his hands on them in the name of anything.
It's crazy that you say that, because, listen, like you said, coming from the Black family, you knew what to do and what not to do.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then you knew what consequence was coming after that if you did it.
Yes, you did.
I feel like we turned out pretty good, right?
Yes, we did.
However, when I got to raising my kids, I went straight to the belt too. Like,
that's what I know. Got me straight.
That's what I know. It got me straight. But it was every kid is different, right? So I might be able to whoop one. The other one, she was so sentimental. The look, how she looked at me in my eyes was devastating. Wow. Almost like, how could you? You're
my protector.
The one. It was like, wow, you hurt me.
It's real.
And then I grew up in a domestic violence household. Wow. So there was a time that I whooped my child and they did the fear thing, and it triggered me.
Wow.
I'm instilling fear. The fear that I hated when I was growing up. Yes. The trauma.
That you vowed my kids will never go through this and live in a house like this.
I will never have them living in a domestic violence situation. And then I'm causing it. It was like, it just hit me. It hit me like, man, I'm doing this. So it's like, wow, how do I change this? Yes. But I am going to tell you, I kids throw up the gentle parenting off of this TikTok. They done send me videos.
TikTok University done started a revolution. Gentle parenting.
Gentle parenting.
I know a little bit. I've heard a little bit. I don't really know fully what that is. My kids mostly grown. I got one left, and then she's 14. We just parenting at this point. We're making it through right now. She cool. She doing good. But they trying to get you to be a gentle.
They send me these videos. So I'm like, I'm trying to not do the belt thing, not whooping, because I felt like I kept hearing myself say too, you don't hit them. So if they hit their sibling, you don't hit them. You don't hit people just to get them to do what you want. And I thought,
but I do.
Dude,
that's deep.
But I do. I said, how am I teaching them that?
Wow.
And I'm hitting you.
Right, to get you to do what I want you to do. Then if they grow up and do it, we like, they're crazy, they abusive, they're domestic violence. It's like that domestic, that we're in a house, anyway, that it's generational and it's been passed on forever and over and over.
It made me realize, like, wow, I'm trying to talk things through, but there are times I have to make my public service announcement. Like, listen,
I ain't playing.
We're up here in Walmart. I don't care who's looking. I don't care who's gonna call the police. If you don't get together, we're gonna have a problem.
They got belts right over there in aisle 6. We'll be over there.
I might have to resort back.
I'll buy it later, but I'm about to go grab this belt from aisle 6. You keep playing with me. I ain't to be played with.
Don't play with me.
Don't play with me.
And I think that's the thing. It's like sometimes you don't know that balance, and parents don't know that balance of like, I'm trying to do it a different way. Yeah. But then when you don't respond, what do I do next?
Yeah. So you're punking me right here in Walmart. I ain't about to be.
Can't happen.
I can't happen. So
okay.
Yes.
So anyway, Black people and mental
health. Yes, we were talking about that mental health. Yes, please.
We digressed.
Yes. Sorry, all good. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think that was an important conversation. All right.
But that is one of the big focuses at my job, Start Community Support Network. Yes. This year, we're focusing tough on trying to reduce that stigma in the Black population. Because I'm not sure if you know that we're dying at higher rates of suicide and drug overdose.
I didn't know that.
Yes, Black people. So it's like we have to figure out what can we do as a people to deal with our trauma so that we're not going to the substances and we're not killing ourselves. Yeah. So it's a big focus. I think for us, the first step is just taking a indirect approach. It may not be directly to the counselor, but what groups can I go to? Like other women groups or even men. I am working on funding men. Okay, so when I call y'all out
let me know.
To say, come on, I'm getting some funding so that you guys can get together And it doesn't have to be I'm sitting down talking
Right,
like
in a
us women do.
circle, yeah.
I want y'all to have a game night where y'all get
Let's
together, eat, and just
go.
talk together. So I'm working on that. So I need you to have my
I
back
got your
come
back.
time.
It's recorded here. I got your back.
Okay.
I feel it.
Yes.
It's
So I
needed.
think for all the agencies out here are looking for funding about mental health, if you want to reach the Black population, I think you have to allow us to do it in an indirect way
Yeah.
and things that are not conventional at
Yes.
first. Build that trust, build that relationship, and show them the benefits, and then we can move to a more traditional route.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the route that we're trying to go.
I love that. I love that Start Community Support Network is thinking down those lines. I love that you are now the executive director carrying the torch in this organization and thinking about things like our mental health and mental well-being. I think it is something that we did not talk about. I like growing up in a household. My mother and others in my house dealt with mental health things, and I think I knew a little bit about it. I think I was a little bit aware because I think there were some things that were at points more severe. But to me, that was the only point: is if it's severe and if someone needs medication or something, then we talk about it. Kind of, we may be aware, but other than that, it was like I always said when kids was little, when nobody ADD, you would just be AD. You was just bad. Like you better sit down. You know, ADD, attention deficit. I'm gonna give you some attention. You're gonna be at a deficit of some stuff. You ain't gonna have nothing in your room. And that was it.
But that's what I think Black people think about mental health. I think they don't consider anything other than if you need meds. Because the first thing people will say is, I ain't crazy.
That is I could literally hear those words in my head.
Yes. And it's not that. It's just we all deal with life.
Yeah.
Life is lifing.
Yes.
And just dealing with that deals with your mental. It's your mind state.
Yes.
It's not that you're crazy. It's not that you have bipolar disorder. It could just be I'm feeling
down.
Yeah.
And I've been down for a week.
And I've been down for a while.
Right.
Yes. So it's not just I'm crazy and I need meds. It's more so I'm dealing with life. There's a lot on me. I don't have a lot of support. I just need somebody to talk to and kind of think through the process. I look at therapy as that. Like somebody, I hate when people say, well, you ain't been through what I've been through, so you can't tell me anything. Sometimes people can just ask the right questions to make you think through. And it's not that they just know everything, but maybe they can ask the right questions to help you think through, okay, what are my next steps? What are my triggers? Why am I reacting to this situation like this? You will find that you are burning a lot of relationships because of trauma.
Yeah.
And because of just not having that way to think through, what are my triggers?
Yes.
Why am I responding so adversive to somebody said this or they look this kind of way? Or, us really being able to sit down and process why we are the way we are is so important.
I love that.
Yeah.
This is such an important conversation, and I'm appreciative of you not just speaking as an executive director of an organization, a nonprofit that is trying to do good, but like a person, a mother, a wife, a person who's really going through it. And you admitted today, you're like, coming here, I was dealing with it. And I think I said to you, I have the pleasure of traveling all over the country, working with different businesses, leaders, teams. Here at home, I'm doing so many wonderful things and going into the community, into community events and hosting, emceeing, and just getting content and being at places. And it's a joy and a pleasure. And there's days where I'm just down. There's days where I feel lonely. There's days where I feel out of touch with all that I'm in touch with. There's days where I'm like, yeah, but I have so much pressure and I have so many things to do and I'm always busy and I'm trying to provide and nobody understands me. And it's nobody's job to fully be anything completely to. My wife can't be people are like, my spouse is my everything. Well, that's a heavy load to put on any person.
It's a heavy load.
Your everything? Well, if they slip or they tilt a little bit and then your everything is messed up. Like that's a lot of weight to put on another person. I don't think that's how life was meant to be. It's that this person is my literal everything. Because the more we expect of a person, the more we're disappointed in those people.
That's right.
The people that do the most, we feel like don't do enough.
Yes.
And then somebody else don't have to do nothing. And we like, oh, I love them. They made me a sandwich. It's like somebody else been making you steak every other night, but it was every other night and it ain't enough. It's like, they didn't make me a sandwich. And we find ourselves in those places and spaces. And it's really, really challenging. But I appreciate that. And I appreciate your sensitivity to men and that you said that and you've expressed that. I think a lot of men don't have the places and the spaces to have these conversations. We don't generally talk about it. I am a person who I always say I prefer, to me, I prefer being around women more than men, because I'm a person who likes to talk about things that are more like children and families and relationships, and the softer side of life is who I am. I'm my mother's child, right? Men, a lot of times we don't know what else to talk about. So all we talk about are trivial things. Like, did you see the game? Yeah, and I was real sad before it because I was going through something. But then, yeah, the game came on, it was great. And I can't believe they won. But we never talk about the sad part.
No.
So I think there's a real need for men to come together, to have real conversations, to be open and vulnerable. I think even as men, when we're amongst each other, instead of only and always talking about sports and trivial and business and what you got and how much money you're making or something, that we do slow down and we do talk about, how are you? Like, not what's up, but what's really up.
Yeah.
Not how you doing? Good, good, I'm good. But like, no, are you really good? And slowing down. When you think about us as a society of people, how do you think we could go about doing that? What are your thoughts on the fact that we're so busy moving as mothers, fathers, whatever we are, that we don't slow down? Self-care was a big part that we were, want to talk about today. What are some thoughts you have on how we could do better at it?
I think this is a start, being honest. And that's what I told myself this year. Like, when people ask me, how you doing? My automatic usually is, oh, I'm good. I'm cool.
Everybody does that.
Everybody.
Fine, and you? Good, and you?
Could have just been crying.
Yes.
But I'm good.
Fine. What you talking about?
Yeah, I'm here.
Good. Yeah, I'm here.
So that's why I said when I was coming here today, I almost canceled on my Lucas
because
I felt like I had nothing else to give emotionally. And it's like when you're interacting with somebody, that's something else, So I think being honest for more people to talk about what they're going through, then that person over there is not looking at your life like, oh, if I only had their life. No, their life comes with some sadness too. Some isolation, some struggle, some arguments, some disappointments. Like, let's talk about it. When you ask me if I'm good, no, I am not today. I am not good. I feel like I'm drowning and I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to get out the water. So I think the more we are honest about it, you will see that your life is not so bad because everybody has a piece of that.
100%.
I think that's the start, just being honest and talking to people. The other thing is connecting with people. A lot of times because we are so busy, we're isolated. It's just go to work, come home, make food, make sure homework is done, love your kids, go to bed,
you sound like you're
wake
talking
up,
from personal experience.
Period.
It's not like real.
I feel like I'm on the hamster wheel.
Gotta go. Somebody else needs something else.
But where am I going? I'm still on this hamster wheel. Come day, go day. It's the same thing. So just stepping back and saying, all right, I'm going to connect with a friend or I'm going to connect with somebody and just talk about life, about things and it doesn't have to be a gripe session, but if it needs to be a gripe session, let it be a gripe session. So just getting connected. So going to organizations kind of like ours, Start Community Support Network, we're going to start having women's groups and young girl groups and having men have their groups, or getting with some friends and say, you know what, I'm not feeling it. Can we just get together and go for a walk? It takes a moment. Sometimes it's even our breathing. Taking a moment at work, I feel like I'm going. And sometimes I'm like, man, just sit back for a second, take a deep breath and exhale about 5-6 times to just recalibrate. Because they say sometimes you're not even exchanging enough oxygen for your brain to function.
I've heard that.
So go for a short walk, anything, but you have to take those moments. So if I say a call to action would be, number 1, connect with people. Number 2, take time for yourself, even if it's just sitting, listen to music for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Okay. And make yourself a priority.
I love it. I really appreciate our conversation here today. If you could tell us in closing, how can people reach out to you as far as Stark County Community Support Network, and maybe quickly, what are some of the services you all provide?
Okay. So we are located right down past Nemasilla Park, across from AutoZone, and that roundabout. And we used to be known as Stark Social Workers Network.
Okay.
That's what people know us by, Stark Social Workers Network. Shout out to Miss Bev Jordan.
Shout out to her.
1997, way back. She's had this thing going.
Yeah.
So we're now Stark Community Support Network. And we're basically a community connector and wellness hub. That's what we are. We want to make sure that we're partnering with individuals in the community to reach their goals and to improve their health habits, both mental and physical. So we have food pantry every Wednesday and Friday from 11 to 1. And again, this is the whole trauma thing. How can we stabilize somebody first before we get to talking about sending them to counseling?
And they're hungry.
Can we stabilize?
Can we stabilize?
Yes.
Interesting.
So we have on-site counselors there every Monday, but then we have case managers the other days that you can have access to. We have community response team. If somebody's experienced like a shooting, domestic violence, fire, some kind of community trauma, we're funded through Stark Mar to respond to them and just help connect them to resources, give them a bereavement checklist to help them guide them through that process. Because again, you just went through a trauma.
I didn't know that. Right. We don't know what to do.
Your mind's not going to even function the same.
Right.
You know, that trauma has sent your mind. You're not, once you are in a traumatic state, your executive functioning skills, which are planning, organizing, reasoning, all that's out the window.
Right.
So it's like, how can we help them through that process? So just in summary, our job there is to partner with you. So not to just refer you out, but to say, hey, I referred you here. Let's come back. Let's talk about it. Did you have any barriers to get to that resource? How can I help you accomplish that?
Right.
And just walk step by step with you.
It's amazing. So
just reach out at 330-455-2260 and just talk to us and see how we can help you.
Yeah. I love that. 330-455-2260.
Yes.
I was trying to remember that. I was like, I don't remember the last time I memorized the number. She just said that number so smooth. I said, man, she on her job. Because I'd be like, you're going to have to call, you Google it. It's on there somewhere. But
wait, let me interrupt. We do have a crisis line too.
Okay.
So at night, you can reach out, but what I do want to refer you to is 988 as well. That's a crisis line. Crisis text line.
It's 911.
I know.
What are you talking about? It ain't 911.
We want to try to keep 911 out of the situation if they don't
need to be in it. Okay.
Yes.
All
so
right.
988, you can just text and talk to somebody anonymously. So if you're going through something, now the thing about it, which I just learned recently, is that you got to watch, like if you have a 216 number, it's going to connect you to the crisis center
in Cleveland. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So just be careful, but at least, you know,
it's still somebody that's there to help you.
There
they just aren't as close if they need to really come to you or something.
Yes. So Coleman Crisis, the adult crisis mobile unit can come to you anytime if you need it. I'm noticing children and youth are needing a lot of support. I mean, I don't know. They're built different nowadays. Like we can endure some things, and this age group seems like their first thought is like, I want to hurt myself, or
they're exposed. I think they're exposed to the option of it, because I don't think when I was a kid, I didn't know what it was. So I wouldn't have known to hurt myself because I'm hurting. Once somebody showed that as an option, like, wait, you could potentially end the pain by ending your own life, or you can somehow numb the pain by cutting or something, whatever they think that is. I don't know that we knew that. And I think now, while it is good that we've exposed them to awareness of what to do in these things, we've also exposed them to the option of doing these things. It's just my thought. That's not a scientific study.
That's my thought too. Yeah. And I just feel like a lot of them are going toward the self-diagnosis too. I have anxiety. I have depression. Anything that goes on in their life, the first thing, it seems like they're going to hurt themselves. So I just say, make sure that they have access to the 988 where they can text too.
Yeah. Is 988 a text only?
No.
It's a text or a call.
Yes.
Thing. Interesting. You can call 988. I've never heard that in my life.
Oh.
I learned something new today.
Good.
See, you don't know what people don't know out there. See, we out here. I didn't know I could call 911. I was like, it's struggle or call 911, and you'd only call 911 when it's like you really, 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 really struggling. So what a wonderful resource. And to be able to text the line and a number is also a great thing. Is that a national thing or is that a Ohio thing? That's a national thing. So wherever you're listening to or watching this from, whenever, 988 is a way of getting some support that is, it's mental health support. It's not send the police, send the fire department, send somebody to come and
they can do that if you
need that.
If you feel like you're going to harm yourself, it's better to get connected right away. That moment can take your life. Like that one short moment that will be, they say joy comes in the morning.
Yes.
Joy can come in the morning, but if you can't get past that one moment, it could just end it all in just an instant.
I think about so many people who committed suicide who probably were in the suffering in that moment from whatever medication they took or whatever they did to harm themselves. They were hanging there, whatever, tragically regretting it. I was thinking, how many people are in that moment thinking, oh my, I just made the most final decision I could make, and I don't know that I wanted to do it, but now I'm in the moment of it and it's too late unless somebody finds me or rescues me or something like that. So to anybody out there suffering, please call 988 or text 988 if you need further support. If you need immediate help right now, of course, 911 if you need to, or you're concerned about a loved one or need support. Sometimes we need to get support for others.
Yes.
Sometimes they're not able or willing to text the number. Maybe I could text for a friend and say, hey, they're going through something. Can you help? Would they be there to help in that manner as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, that was another thing when you talk about helping somebody else. We are a harm reduction site. We have Narcan on site. And I'm noticing when I introduce it to the population, they're like, I don't have no drug problem. I don't need that. And I'm like,
it's not for me. It's not my inhaler. It's if I see someone in need.
That's right. And even if you did need it, okay, take it. Don't be ashamed to take it. Like, until you can get that help later on, take it and just be safe now. Do the swap syringe program. Have Narcan. If you're going to use drugs, have it on site. And then even if you're not using drugs, let everybody carry it in case you see somebody.
Wow.
A squirt can save a life. That one small action can save a life.
Wow.
So be equipped. So you can come down to our agency too for that and just no questions asked. Go in, get your box, and take it on.
And you can go into the old refurbished newspaper dispensaries. I saw that. That was so cool because I forgot about those. It's like phone booths. Things disappear and we don't even notice they're gone because we don't need them.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, those you remember, you put a quarter into the little machine and you open it up and you take 33 papers. No, I'm just playing. You took one. You took one newspaper. I was like, this is a real honor system here. Anybody else want one? It's open. If the vending machine opened up like that, I'd be like, yo, it's open for a few minutes, yo. Anybody else want something to drink? No. But anyway, you could get you one newspaper for a quarter, 50 cents. I don't remember, the prices was always going up. But they were here locally, it was the Kent Repository, I believe, had those things, and maybe the Massillon Independent and other things. And so you guys have repurposed one of those, or are there more of those? Is that right?
They repurposed it and brought it to our agency. So you don't need your quarter or anything.
Okay,
you just
all
pop
right.
the door open and just take it. It's
some.
free. So just make sure that you're equipped to be able to save a life in your community.
I love that. Tiffany, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Before the show and during the show, and I appreciate your transparency and openness. I think there's a lot of people, men and women alike, who are suffering, who are dealing with things, who are dealing with their own traumas, dramas. They're passing things on to their children. We're trying to serve our communities. We're trying to serve our families, and we're not taking time for ourselves. So I think at the end of the day, your heart is to see people get the help that they need, including yourself, and then extending that out to others in our community. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. It was such a pleasure.
I always love Lucas Live.
I appreciate that. I love that. I love that. I love you too. And I appreciate everything that you do. And I think your openness has helped somebody today. Somebody out there, if it's helped you, make sure you let us know. And Tiffany is going to continue to do this great work, and we're going to continue to support. So if there's anything else we can do, let us know. When you do the men's group, let me know. I'm there.
Yes.
The
fishing rodeo too.
The fishing rodeo is coming up.
Yes.
So talk to us about that before we go.
So the fishing rodeo is an annual event for Start Community Support Network. It's always held around Father's Day. So then that way children have an opportunity to spend time with dad. Yeah. That is another way to heal. It's therapeutic. It's fishing, but it's June 14th and 15th, and it's from 8 a.m. to 12. You get free poles, free food. We're probably gonna have a slushy machine. We're gonna have a DJ. It's just gonna be a time to just be together and have a good time and do something that's relaxing, and it's free.
That's amazing.
So just come on out. No registration needed.
Wonderful. Free fishing, gentlemen. Free fishing poles. Free stuff.
We have a senior day.
Okay.
Strictly for the seniors, and then we have a youth day on Saturday.
I love that. So Cooks Lagoon, they can just show up.
They can just show
Cooks
up.
Lagoon, down there on the northeast side of Canton.
Right.
You guys check that out. Continue to check out Tiffany and what she has going on. Continue to follow us here at Lucas Live. You know, we're all about education, motivation, liberation. We want to teach you something you didn't know before. I learned something new today. I now know about 988. If you never knew about 988, I hope now you know. You can text or call 988 for some support if you have some things going on and you just need somebody to talk to, or you need to process some things that are going on with you or somebody you love. Check that out. We are here to motivate. We want to push you to do something that you weren't doing. We got to get that motor going again. So many people are dealing with so much that we need a little push. We need a little boost. We need to hear from somebody else. So I hope you were motivated today to go take care of yourself. That self-care is so important. Men, women, whoever you are, that you get more than just a few minutes, hour getting your nails done, or an hour. Like, you need daily time. You need time regularly. Schedule some time away. Invest in yourself, because you can't save anyone else until you take care of yourself. And then last, liberation is just to feel free, to be set free, to be who you're supposed to be, so that you can live the life on purpose. So you can live your life on purpose and live a life of purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my absolute pleasure being here with you. We'll see you guys again next time. Again, Tiffany, thank you so much.
Yes, great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.
On the next episode of Lucas Live. Everybody have a great day.